financing for 60 months. And as an added bonus for your holiday season, if you purchase one of Acres eligible machines before December 31st, you'll get a $5,000 gift card from Shields. Go to acres.com to learn more.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run a
So like
bit.
speed option, those things, all you want to do.
Speed, I can't see him.
It's also
Look
what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill.
Down.
Come on
Just
now.
calm down.
I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be
Word
parentheses or
Too many commas over there.
too many
Yep, come on.
run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com and become a part of history.
This is the Happy Hour,
You guys going to happy hour?
coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into the happy hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. I am Rico, joined by the one, the only, the legendary, the most wonderful Austin Orman. Just take the compliment.
Oh, that's me. Hi.
Just take
Hi,
the
Rico.
compliment.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, good sir. I am fantastic. As you can tell, we're coming to you a little bit early here on a Thursday. Shout out to Adam Carricker and the Carricker Chronicles for giving you Danny Woodhead and Frank Solich interviews there. And so we're going to make this a quick segment. We'll let you guys know kind of what we're talking about, and then we'll get into the happy hour at our regular time from 1 to 2 here on 93.7 The Ticket in beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. Come visit us, 1040 O Street. Can I still say new location?
Yeah, it's still new, but I feel like we're getting to it just being our location.
Okay, come to us from our slightly older new location, 1040 O Street, the corner of 11th and O. Get yourself some coffee from the mill. Get yourself some Beatrice Bakery. All of it good.
How different would the snow have been in the old building? Because
Terrible.
Right. I mean, that hill and all
It
that.
would have been bad.
Yeah.
It would have been very bad. Everybody would, especially with the way that it melted and the way it was icy, it would have been, it would have been to the point where, and this has happened before, you don't park your car at the bottom of like where the hill ends and where our door was, because cars, when they go down that and they try to slow down, they just slide and they always go off and they'll hit your car. So you always park further down and you walk yourself up. So
I did that anyways, back at the old building.
Yeah, I found it a lot easier and better to park around the building where the dumpsters were. I was like, I'll just park back there. Like, it's good. It'll be nice and safe and clean and whatever. But today, Nebraska football gets a commitment for the 2024 class. I forget that this can still happen because there's another signing day in February. Jordan Ochoa commits to Nebraska football, the 3-star recruit out of Colorado. We'll get more into that coming up in the next segment. Nebraska basketball, more pain as they fall up in Piscataway to Rutgers, but that's really not the story. The story is a certain Husker who was injured in the second half. Still not sure what the injury is, how severe it is, but based on the way that it looked, one can speculate, although that is bad, that it might be a potential season-long injury.
If it's non-contact and he just crumples on his own,
it's probably bad.
It's either a weird one-off fluke or it's bad.
Yeah, could be like a bad muscle spasm or something worse, but we will see. We will see with that coming up here. Maybe they'll let us know today. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
I doubt we find out till tomorrow's availability.
Okay, so we'll see with Nebraska basketball there. And I realized this today when I was back in the offices with Austin that we're both huge NBA fans, and neither one of us has talked about the NBA. We have had a show for a week, and we have not mentioned the NBA, and I'm disappointed in us. So today we will have an NBA corner of sorts. So all of that coming up next on the Happy Hour. I'm Rico. That's Austin. We'll get back to you here shortly on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, is hosting their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney, Nebraska, January 31st through February 1st. Landmark Sprayer Clinic offers expansive equipment and technology training on John Deere and Hagie sprayers. Learn about the newest technology, machine maintenance, spray tip selection, exact apply sprayers, and more. Free dicamba certification will be available. Join Landmark at their sprayer clinic January 31st and February 1st in Kearney. Find more information at landmarkimp.com/events.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, has the largest selection of late model equipment in the Midwest. And for a limited time, Acres is offering low rate financing on all 2021 and 2022 S and X Series combines and 8 Series tractors. Qualified buyers can earn 3.9% financing for 60 months. And as an added bonus for your holiday season, if you purchase one of Acres' eligible machines before December 31st, you'll get a $5,000 gift card from Shields. Go to acres.com to learn more.
Letting your children know you believe in them will go a long way toward making their dreams a reality. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's important to celebrate learning. Focus on the positives, reinforce good effort and determination. Children need your encouragement and support. Our public schools want every student to succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You know I had to get that one in.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Beckett.
Who
Shout out
pooped
to
on
baby
my hand
Beckett.
today.
He did what?
He pooped on my hand today.
Damn straight he did. Great job, Beckett. Show him what's up. Show your dad who's really in power.
It was humbling. It was humbling.
Look, that's not even the worst thing that's going to happen.
Here's the thing. I even avoided the rookie parent mistake where as soon as you hear it, you go change the diaper. No, you give him time. There's usually more. I gave him enough time. He found more in the tank.
And he said, nah, son. I got some more for you, buddy.
You thought.
No, it's all good.
You thought.
Nothing will ever top what happened. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's other parents that have had worse, but there was a time when this is when we just had Ellie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rachel went to change her diaper and she let out a little toot, but there's a little more in it on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then when she was around that same age, I don't even remember how old she was, but I was holding her and she was we were on the couch and her stomach's bubbling. And I go, oh, somebody's got to go to the bathroom.
Bubble gut.
And just, big baby fart. And it was just, and I was like, oh, that's gross. And then I feel something warm on my leg and my abdomen. And I was like, oh no. And I pick her up, blowout everywhere. And I'm like, that's just disgusting, just gross. And I pick her up and I'm like, hey, babe, can you help? And she takes her and I go to get up and I feel my shorts are a little heavy. And I go, what the heck? I put my hand in my pocket because I was like, oh, it's my phone. Put my hand in my pocket. Nope. Went into my pocket. It went into my pocket.
That is incredible.
Yep.
What aim? Good shot, Ellie.
So even now, like I'll tell she'll be like, oh, when I was a baby, this, and she's like, I was a good baby. And I go, Elliot, you pooped in my pocket when you were a baby. And she's like, what? And I go, yeah, it was gross. And she goes, that's yucky. And I go, yeah, it was. It was disgusting.
The things I do for you, child.
I put my hand in it. It was just in my pocket. It was disgusting. If anybody has any gross baby stories, we'd love to hear them. 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, and on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961 all across this wonderful state of Nebraska. The Happy Hour brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting. Ladies and gentlemen, Nebraska football recruiting never stops, obviously, but Nebraska football recruiting for the class of 2024 has also not stopped as Nebraska loses out earlier on the commitment and signing of Carlin Jones, defensive lineman, defensive tackle out of Texas, as he said that he wanted to take more visits and delay his signing until February. Nebraska moved on from him. He ends up going to signing with USC, I believe. Nebraska gets the commitment today, actually sends out a scholarship offer and gets the commitment today from one Jordan Ochoa out of Castle Rock, Colorado, Castle View High School, the 3-star defensive lineman, 6'4", 225 pounds, according to On3, commits to Nebraska after he thought, I think he had previously been committed to Wyoming. But he decides, the 3-star, that after his offer, Nebraska out there, I believe Matt Rule is out in Colorado or was out in Colorado. They offer him the scholarship. He commits, decides he wants to take his talents out of the Rocky Mountain area and into the beautiful, beautiful cornfield state of Nebraska.
I like the outline of the player. Not the highest rated recruit, which is obviously fine with me, especially not compared to Carlin Jones, who was a 4-star, who had the Ohio State, USC, Bama offer list. But this is a guy that looks like he can be a hand in the dirt pass rusher. Maybe he can even stand up and play some of that jack position. Wyoming and Craig Bull, the former head coach before he stepped down, retired this offseason, of course. I like this, right? This is a guy that was, a Matt Rule type of guy, right? He's working at an academy in Colorado, trying to sharpen his skills in the offseason, under the radar sort of prospect, and really fills a position of need because Ashton Murphy's the only defensive lineman in the 2024 class, with Carlin Jones. I don't think he ever committed to Nebraska, but
I think he was.
Was he? And then he decommitted?
I think he was committed, and then he said he wanted to take, from the article that I read, he said he wanted to take more offers, and Nebraska moved on, or take more visits and push his signing from December to February. And then I think he decommitted to Nebraska, just moved on from him, whatever it was. But they moved on from him. Again, as you said, only had Ashton Murphy, now have Jordan Ochoa in the class as defensive line commits for 2024. But he was the guy that, Nebraska was in early on with him. And they definitely had his commitment. They were in early with him. And then he started gaining interest and got the offers from the Alabamas, from the USCs, the Ohio States, the Texases, all of those schools. And it was, can Nebraska fight off all of these schools? And it's not to say that they weren't going to fight them off, but I feel like it was one of those things where the coaching staff, where he wants to take visits and push his signing back, you don't feel, even if you feel really good about his commitment and where you're sitting, it's still a little scary to bank on getting that second defensive lineman in February, because at that time, if you don't have a backup plan, it's, you only have one defensive lineman if he commits somewhere else.
Right. And it's one thing to visit, other schools of Nebraska's caliber, but if you're going on visits to USC, Ohio State, you can understand why Nebraska would say, really rather you didn't.
Hey, how about you don't?
How about please no? Like, I'm still pretty, still look over here.
Our football facility's not done yet. Please wait.
Yeah, just give us 2 months. 2 months, please. I promise it'll be ready for you. But yeah, getting a pass rusher in the class here, I think it was basically essential, right? If Matt Rule and this staff wants to continue to build through the lines on both sides of the ball, only having one commit in a class on either of the lines is not a way to do that, right? It wouldn't shock me if they still, are pursuing other targets in that class, whether it's another high school guy like Ochoa, or if they go kind of the Kai Wallen route, right? And they go after a JUCO guy potentially. I doubt Nebraska is done looking to add on the defensive line just because of what I believe the staff's philosophy in team building is.
Yeah, I was going to look up how what their current class size is for 2024, if you can do that. But
large.
They've brought in a lot of people. They're still, again, as many people know and has been widely reported on, over on scholarship. So they're going to have to figure out a way to balance that out. Again, I don't know how they do that. If there's that retirement, is that retirement plan still in effect, or is that just for first year coaches where it's like you can?
I think it's just the year after the new coach.
Okay. So I don't know how they're going to do it. If people are going to be coerced into entering the transfer portal, if they can take scholarships away and possibly supplement it with something else, if there are enough NIL deals that could be set in place to assist with that. But they are going to be over on scholarships and are going to have to find a way to lower that number so that they can enter the season with the designated number of scholarships. What's their class at?
I'm still trying to find it. I think it was they had a 28-man signing class. I believe it was.
So.
So he would be 29.
28-man signing class, only 2 defensive linemen, a lot of tight ends, a lot of offensive linemen in this class as well. I know that for a fact is so getting guys on the defensive side to push those offensive linemen. Plus,
it's 29 with 6 transfers. That's 35 dudes.
Holy crap. That's a big class. That's a big second recruiting class for Matt Rule and company. Speaking of, and look, I almost forgot about this. Speaking of Matt Rule and company, and look, okay, again, if you're just joining, Jordan
Actually,
Ochoa,
this dude makes 30.
30.
Woo.
Okay.
36 new players.
Okay. That's a lot. Speaking of this, Jordan Ochoa, if you weren't here with us earlier, defensive tackle out of Castle View, Colorado, 3-star defensive tackle, 6'5", somewhere in the 220, 230 pound range. Commits to Nebraska, gets the offer, commits to Nebraska today to push their recruiting class for 2024. He will be signing, as long as he stays committed, will be signing in February and joining the class in the next school year or during the off season. That happened. But speaking of the football team, remember when Glenn Thomas was rumored signed as the quarterbacks coach for Nebraska?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's another title in there. Glenn Thomas, not only the quarterbacks coach for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, also something that you wanted a different person to have, the co-offensive coordinator.
He's the kook.
The kook.
One of the 2 kooks. No, I'm kidding. That's a bad way to describe it. Hopefully we're not calling them kooks. But yes, the co-OC role for Glenn Taylor. And I think there are 2 ways this can go, right? It's either going to go well because you have more minds tackling the problems, or there's going to be infighting, right? There's going to be some competition going on for who it is that actually gets to design the game plan, puts plays together, but ultimately who gets the credit. I think that you can afford to make the co-OC move because Satterfield and Thomas have worked together before. I think that they'll be able to be on the same page.
Does that cushion the blow a little bit for Satterfield? Hey, man, you were the offensive coordinator, now you're the co-offensive coordinator. Maybe we're not taking all of your play calling duties away, but in certain situations.
But see, I still think that even though Thomas was named the co-OC, I still think it's Satterfield calling all the plays.
Okay.
I think titles are important in college sports. They're important to coaches. And they justify the salary that I can only assume Glenn Thomas is going to be getting. But I think that's just more of a credit to Glenn Thomas that Nebraska wanted him that bad. They're willing to give him that title. But I mean, he's the quarterbacks coach working with one of the highest rated in-state quarterback signees you've had in a long time, and the highest rated quarterback signee you've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, that dude was going to have input on the game plan for the offense no matter what. So you may as well just give him the co-OC title, right? Because he's going to be working so closely with him. But I don't think it changes anything for Marcus Satterfield, right?
No.
It's one other guy to bounce ideas off of. Maybe those game plan meetings you have more, 3-person meetings instead of 2-person meetings. But Satterfield's still going to be the one calling the plays.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so. I mean, he did it last year, and Matt Rule said that they weren't going to move on from him. So just, changing the title a wee bit shouldn't make that many differences, except for, as you mentioned, maybe those meetings and more input from an outside voice, outside perspective. But you look at Glenn Taylor. Glenn Thomas. You look at Glenn Thomas's resume, as we did when he was first announced as becoming the quarterbacks coach for Nebraska. And he was the lone offensive coordinator at Temple with Matt Rule. And then Matt Rule makes the jump to Baylor. Thomas follows him to Baylor, is the co-offensive coordinator for those.
With Jeff Nixon, I believe.
With Jeff Nixon from 17 to 2019, co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So it's not like he hasn't been in this situation before. It's not like, and again, I don't know who was actually calling the plays down at Baylor, but he's been in this situation where he either has to share play calling duties or has more input on what plays are being called, what plays are being, sent off onto the offense, onto the quarterback, who he is coaching, who he has the most time with. And that's going to go a long way, especially with a true freshman quarterback coming in. You have a guy who has been a quarterback's coach almost at every stop he's been at. So he'll have more of that input. Again, he has, as we talked about before yesterday, has that next level experience coaching in the NFL, so he'll be able to prepare him for that. But also being able to tell the other co-offensive coordinator, who is your tight ends coach, look, this is what, Dylan Raiola is excelling at. These are the throws that he is really excelling at. These are the areas in where he is struggling or needs to make some more improvements. If the guy's running this route, this is the way that he's going to hit him. This is where he wants to throw it. All of these different things, and that can simplify more of the play calling for, as you said, Marcus Satterfield, who will more than likely, I guess, in our minds, still have a lion's share of the play calling duties come this next season.
Well, the thing you have to avoid is something that Jay's brought up a couple times in Minnesota, right? They had co-offensive coordinators. The guy that called the plays in their bowl games, now 2 bowl games ago, wasn't the one who was calling the plays for them at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be clarity and there has to be definition for what those roles are. And again, I'm not too worried about that because of the familiarity factor. I think it was made clear to Glenn Thomas that he gets the co-OC title, he gets input in game planning, but he's not the one up in the booth, radioing down plays.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to make that clarity and distinction and do it now, right? Maybe you give, Glenn Thomas a few cracks at it during spring ball, a couple series here and there, but it's just, practice, trial, run, just see how he calls a game or would call a game. But you have to make sure Marcus Satterfield knows, like, hey, job's still yours, right? This is the reason why we're doing this. Or Marcus Satterfield, maybe, Thomas Fidone and Carter Nelson want help working on something on a backfield or something. Oh, yeah, you go work with our 2 stud tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let Glenn call some plays for a couple series till you get back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just make sure there's clarity, make sure there's definition, because as soon as there's any of that ambiguity, that's when feelings can get hurt. People can get confused and you're not on the same page.
What I really like about this is I believe Satterfield was on the field up in the booth, switching back and forth between those 2 areas throughout the season. I really like having Satterfield calling the plays up in the booth to have that overhead view, and having Thomas down on the field, getting the field level view, working with Raiola or Kalen or Harburg or whoever ends up coming at it, or whoever ends up being the starter for Nebraska next season. It's going to be Raiola. After they come out of the game, after an offensive series, hopefully touchdowns, and kind of working with them and doing that while Satterfield, and then, they just call up, they're on the headset, going back and forth with each other, like, hey, this is what Dylan saw. What did you see from up there? This is what I saw from the field level. Hey, this is something that I think that would really work. This is what I'm seeing from up here. This is what I'm seeing from down here. And I think that having that and having their titles the same as co-offensive coordinator, there's not going to be any of that, again, hopefully, and like you said, they've worked together, any of that, well, I'm the offensive coordinator, I make the final say, or, I'm working with the quarterbacks, I'm the offense, I'm doing this, this is how that's supposed to go. With that co-offensive coordinator tag, they can work more in tandem with what they're seeing from the different levels of the field. Again, if that's what they do, they could both be on the field. But I have a sneaky suspicion that Thomas is definitely going to be on the field.
I don't know why he wouldn't be, right? With a young quarterback room, even though Heinrich Harburg, who is staying in the quarterback room, right? Like, just accept that fact now, Husker fans that wanted to move to tight end.
I'm not going to accept it.
He's staying in the quarterback room, still a young, relatively inexperienced quarterback, and then 2 freshmen. And other than that, you have walk-ons who haven't seen action in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Glenn Thomas is going to be down on the field. It's easier to have those conversations face-to-face, to be the first guy to greet the quarterback after a good play, a bad play, after he looked confused, after he cracked the code, solved the riddle, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You want your quarterback's coach down there. I'm going to reiterate this. The co-OC, to me, refers exclusively to game planning, not to play calling. It's going to be Marcus Satterfield's job. And that's where I want to address something on the text line here, Rico, if I could, from 8339, asking, is it possible that Nebraska's offensive strategy has moved from run the ball to huck it, chuck it football? There's always that temptation, right? Because we get carried away. I don't say carried away, right? We see the shiny toys. We see Dylan Raiola. We see the speed of Coleman and Lloyd and Nayor and Banks, can probably stretch the field to some degree too. You see, Thomas Fidone had his best year at Nebraska. You hear Carter Nelson's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually asked Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald that question yesterday, right? Like, how hard will it be for Marcus Satterfield to avoid the temptation just to air it out, right? We know Marcus Satterfield is a pass-first guy, right? We knew that coming in. I thought Nebraska did a pretty good job of committing to the run last year. Now, went away from it at silly times, went to it at some silly times, right? Not to say Marcus Satterfield's a perfect play caller. We've been over that plenty of times on this show, the show after that, and
just
all across the station.
Just everywhere.
Right. We've established that fact. But I still think Matt Rule's overall philosophy will win out in the end, right? And Evan even made the good point that because you have those weapons to stress defenses over the top, you might be more inclined to see more two safety looks. You might see those safeties, the true 15, 20 yards back instead of the, 12 yards or even dropping one of them down into the 7-8 yard box, right? So the threat of the deep ball is most likely going to help Nebraska's run game, right? I don't think it's going to go full, Bruce Arians, no risk it, no biscuit, not going to go full.
Let's do it.
Mike Leach air raid.
Oh, hit me
right?
with that, baby.
Would I hate it? No, I think it would be really fun to watch.
I would,
but I don't think that's the way that Nebraska's treading, because then why go get Dante Dowdle? Why put so much time and effort into Emmett Johnson if that's the way you're going to go, right? So yes, Nebraska needed upgrades at the receiver position and at the quarterback position. Like, we all can agree on that. But I do think that Matt Rule and his philosophy of 75 rushing yards in the fourth quarter will win out. But the deep ball and the big play receivers add another element that, in case Nebraska needs to break glass in case of emergency if they're trailing, or defenses start loading the box against Nebraska like they did last year, hey, it looks like you actually have guys that can make the defense, have to at least think about that other possibility.
You've seen that with teams who we believe are really good teams or solid teams, Wisconsin in the past, where, look, they're going to run the ball. Iowa, for the longest time, probably still, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run it with success. You load the box, you have one safety deep, and you dare them to pass the ball, and they can't. So that's when a Wisconsin or an Iowa, they can run through the Big Ten. They can do whatever they want in the Big Ten because those teams can't stop them for whatever reason, or just can't keep up with them on the offensive side of the ball. And keep up, I mean, scoring 21 points, maybe even 14 points. But once they go to a bowl game, or when they have to face a team like an Ohio State, I mean, he's even still in the conference, or a Michigan who just does things better than a lot of other teams, or they have to go face an Alabama,
LSU,
Georgia,
Tennessee.
LSU, teams that can do both of those things and have the athletes to go blow for blow with you, they usually fold. They usually can't get things done. So having both options, having a lot of deep threats, having guys who can take the top off of a defense or just take those passes in the intermediate and short range, while also being able to run the ball, that gives you so many more elements, so many different weapons and ways to attack a defense. And that's kind of exactly, like you said, what they look like they've been doing with the weapons they've been gathering, and what Matt Rule has kind of reiterated and said he wants to do. He's like, we're focused on running the ball, but also they've got all these athletes all over the place who can stretch the field. They want to get 75 yards rushing in the fourth quarter. Usually, if you're ahead, it's a lot easier to get that. And with the weapons that they have, they should be able to score a lot more points than they were able to score last year. So either way, we'll see what happens with that. So that first segment, Jordan Ochoa, defensive lineman out of Colorado, commits to Nebraska, will sign in February, become the 30th member of Nebraska's recruiting class. And Glenn Thomas, another title to his name here at Nebraska, not only the quarterback's coach, but the co-offensive coordinator with Marcus Satterfield. With that, we will go to a break. When we come back, a little bit of Nebraska basketball talk as they went up to Piscataway and didn't get the job done, unfortunately. But we'll talk a little bit about that, mostly about a injury that has the potential to derail the happy season that we were hoping for Nebraska basketball.
I have thoughts.
Austin has thoughts. We'll be right back on the happy hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Husker fans, your Nebraska wrestling team needs you at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for a Big Ten matchup on Sunday, January 21st against the Purdue Boilermakers. The duel will begin at 1 p.m., and the first 200 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling blanket. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run. So like speed option, those things. All you want to do.
Speed. I can't see much.
It's also. Oh, it's.
Uh-oh.
Look what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill.
Down.
Come on
Just
now.
calm down.
I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be a parentheses or
Too many commas over there.
Too many
Come on.
run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Letting your children know you believe in them will go a long way toward making their dreams a reality. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's important to celebrate learning, focus on the positives, reinforce good effort and determination. Children need your encouragement and support. Our public schools want every student to succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting. at Aspen Builders.
It's pro time, Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, are about to hit the court. Mark your calendars for January 24th at 7 p.m. when we host the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Witness world-class talent, including national champions and Olympians. Don't wait. Secure your single match tickets today at supernovas.com. and become a part of history.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I love text like this. This is my favorite kind of text to get. So I'm gonna read it to you guys. And you know what? I'm not calling you out, texter. I just think it's funny. Unnamed texter says, running the ball is required in this league. You have to conform to that if you don't have elite talent everywhere. Control the clock, control the amount of possessions in the game. The league's changing. I still understand Big Ten football and what it is and what it shall be forever and ever and ever. Amen. But look, you're adding 4 teams who aren't going to play that way. You look at Ohio State, they play that way from time to time. But like you said, they have elite talent. And even if you don't have elite talent, there are some times where you can get away with it. Maryland didn't run the ball, and they were pretty solid until the end of the season. So look, running the ball is important in every league. It's necessary. You have to be able to run the ball, hold on to the ball in every league. In the Big Ten, it's a little more prevalent because of the cold and all of that. But you don't have to conform to the Big Ten to have success.
I also think that it makes sense why control the clock, control the amount of possessions of the game is a prevailing thought. But I also think it's slightly off base, right? Yes, you need to be able to run the ball. There are situations like 4-minute drill, 2-minute drill, like Michigan won a national championship playing that way. The better Ohio State teams in the early mid 2010s ran the ball. Even Oregon, right? Early 2010s, that was a running offense. They just did it from a spread formation. But it is less about time of possession than it is efficiency. Okay? Time of possession matters a little bit, not as much as efficiency, right? The example I will always go back to is Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, right? When he first came into the league, his first couple of years, they're putting up crazy, insane numbers. What's the narrative? Oh, run the ball. Keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes, right? Don't give him time.
Tennessee did that. It worked once, and then Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs were like, not again.
But here's the thing. It didn't work. Because why? The Chiefs' offense was so good because it was so efficient, because it could score with big plays. And even if you controlled the ball for 35, 37, 38 minutes, and that was 4 possessions for you, guess what? The Chiefs are taking their chances that they would score on all 4 of their possessions. They won't score on all 4 of yours. So the Chiefs, despite having less time of possession, were infinitely more efficient than the other team.
And maybe that lines up with that unnamed texter's, elite talent at every level. But even then, if you're not elite, if you're efficient, if you can find a way to score in 2 minutes, do it. Don't just run the ball because you need to hold on to the ball for a longer period of time.
We good over there?
I don't know. It sounded like somebody fell. I think he's doing something though.
Hopefully it's just the ladder.
He's just messing with something. Okay. As long as you score, it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you do it. So if you want to run the ball and control the clock for, if you want to have a 10-minute drive, if that ends with a field goal and the other team drives down in a minute and a half and scores a touchdown, guess what? You're still losing and you've had the ball for a longer amount of time.
Here's the other conundrum, right? Which we can look at the basketball example of this too. Okay. You would think the worse your team is, right? You want to slow down, right? Take your time, make sure you work for the best shot possible. Okay.
Yes.
But if you're going to limit the number of possessions, you have to operate at a higher level of efficiency. You have to maximize those possessions. So if you're not going to be that, if you're not as talented and you can't execute consistently at a high level, what it should tell you is, hey, we actually want to make more possessions, more variance into this game, right? Because we give ourselves more opportunities, more bites at the apple to put the ball in the basket, to put the ball in the end zone. Well, here's the thing. The faster you go, the faster you want to play, the better you have to be mentally to be able to process quicker, make decisions quicker. So it's hard for bad teams to play fast, right? There is no one right way to do this, right? I go back to the first 1 seed that fell to a 16 seed. It was poetic justice that it was Virginia. How did Virginia get beat? By trying to play slow. They limited their possessions. They were bit off that game. UMBC sped them up a little bit and maximized their own possessions, right? We've seen Virginia get beat, 47-39 because their offensive execution was so bad and they saw someone that could play their style better than them.
Yep.
We saw Virginia get beat being forced to play someone else's style because their defense couldn't keep up. They weren't good enough on offense that night to play the style of defense they wanted to do. So take that back to Nebraska football. It makes sense that you want to control the clock. You want to win the fourth quarter, 75 rush yards. Okay, I'm fine with all of that. But if that's how you want to be, it makes it imperative then to be extremely efficient in the first 3 quarters. Put enough points on the board, not just be within striking distance, but preferably lead after 3 quarters.
Can't be down 14.
So that you can turn into the meat grinder.
Yeah, you can't be down 14 and run 75 yards.
Yeah, you can't, be the meat grinder when you're down 14 points, right? You either have to raise the talent level to be able to play faster because you're that much ahead of other teams mentally that you can play faster than them and put them in that tough position where they can't keep up, or you have to get better talent to slow other teams down, right? They want to create more possessions. They want to create chaos, but you are so calm and under control of your circumstances mentally that you can take that deep breath, slow down, take 35 seconds off the play clock and run the play that you want to run the way you want it run every snap.
It's one of those where if you know this play works, you're not going to change from it. If you know that you can run the ball against a team, you don't change from that. And to go along with that, if you want to be a running team, what you're going to need to do, if you're going to limit your own possessions, as you said, and you're going to try and limit the possessions for the other team, what you need, if you're not going to score a lot, is an elite defense to keep the other team from scoring a lot. Because if you have a run the ball offense and a bad defense, guess what? You can hold the ball for 15 minutes, get a field goal out of it, and then your defense will give up a touchdown in a minute.
This corrects. So 6496 says there's another side of the ball that will be affected by your offense. You can't wear out your defense if you don't have the depth. I'm going to say it's a lot easier to play defense up a touchdown than down a touchdown.
I mean, look at Iowa this last couple of seasons. Their defense has been elite. Their offense has been garbage.
Their defense has been on the field so much.
Yeah.
You don't hear that as an excuse from Iowa.
Nope. That was my thing. Is Iowa, their defense is on the field just as much, if not more, than Nebraska's has been. But they don't use that as an excuse. They say, oh, yeah, our defense is out there. You're not going to move the ball. We're going to force it. We're going to score on defense.
Or when Iowa's defense isn't on the field for a long time, it's because it's good enough to force a turnover early on the opponent's side of the field so their offense has a short field.
And then get a field goal out of it because their offense is bad. But again, that's the thing with it, is they're a run-the-ball offense. They don't have many weapons offensively that they can throw the ball to. Their running backs are pretty good, but it's not helpful when teams are just going to stack the box because they're not afraid of you throwing at all. So they're going to stack the box. Your running backs can only do so much. If they can get a touchdown, yeah, that's great. But more than likely, you're going to end up getting a field goal if you can move the ball at all. There have been multiple times where Iowa's had 2-3 possessions and they've gotten 5 yards out of it. Like, if you have an offense that cannot move the ball whatsoever, your defense needs to be elite. If you are going to be a run-first offense, you need to have not an elite defense, but a good enough defense to supplement the lack of extra possessions that you're going to generate from just running the ball. And if you want to say, oh, Michigan was a run-first team, Michigan was elite on the offensive line, elite at running back, and elite on defense. That's different, all right?
I'm going to throw this out here, too, from Augie, who says offensive efficiency is essential. That's how defense wins championships. The thing is that I think there's still too many people that say time of possession equals offensive efficiency. No. Points per game is also not offensive efficiency. Points per drive is offensive efficiency. How often do you put the ball in the end zone and or through the uprights? Okay. It's not just about how long you hold the ball. The perfect game where you can say, your offense was perfectly efficient and you won the time of possession battle is if you had one drive last 30 minutes, you score a touchdown, and you get to receive the ball coming out of halftime, and you have one 30-minute drive that you score a touchdown on.
Is that possible?
Probably not, because you'd have to kick off at some point. Okay, actually, it might be. Okay, so what about this? You might not be able to hold the ball for all 60 minutes, but you defer, so you have the opening. You kick the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
The opponent runs it back to your 1 yard line, fumbles. You have a drive that takes up the rest of the first half. Then you receive the second half kickoff, have a 30-minute drive.
It's possible.
So it's very close to possible. But point being, right, that is the only, one of the only ways to have an efficient performance. I mean, I'm talking to myself in circles here.
Unless you score on every single drive, whether it be a touchdown or a field goal, if you can score on every single time you have the ball and keep the other team, there's
whether it takes you 7 minutes or 7 seconds.
It doesn't matter as long as you score. Look, if we want to talk about run the ball, first team and winning champ, LSU in 2019, they ran the ball they were pretty efficient running the ball. But when you think of that team, what do you think of? You think of the 25
Chase, Jefferson.
Yeah, you think of the
Moss.
25 NFL receivers and Joe Burrow slinging the rock everywhere. You don't think of you and even with the running backs, you think of Clyde Edwards-Helaire receiving the ball out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking about, although they did have a very good running game, you don't think about that. But they also had a good enough defense so that on the drives where they rarely didn't score, their defense was still holding teams.
And let's say Nebraska plays the same style next year as it did this year, right? That's fine. That is totally fine with me. I want to see Nebraska obviously score more points, but score on a higher percentage of its drives more than anything, right? If that means that the offense is running the ball effectively and they are winning the time of possession battle, that'll go along with it. But Nebraska just needs to finish more drives in the end zone, right? Scaper. Red zone efficiency is what Nebraska's lacking. Sure.
Right? Definitely.
Yes. Always. You can always get better in the red zone. Now, that's a stat that year to year fluctuates. Nebraska's been on the lower end recently, hasn't fluctuated back Nebraska's way for myriad reasons. But here's the thing. Just score on more of your drives.
Pretty simple.
That's all I'm asking.
Whether you're running it or passing it, just score.
I do not care how long it takes.
So anyway, you don't have to conform to the Big Ten.
No.
Just score.
Buck the system. Rebel.
It doesn't matter. You can say, oh, in this weather, in the snow. By the way, it's snowing right now. So if you're out driving and about, please be safe. Please be careful. The roads are some roads still icy.
Can I finish with this as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Nebraska is going to play another game that has snow, right? And people are going to say, oh, run the ball, hold on to the ball to win it, right? But Nebraska, more likely than not, in this next snow game, will face a key 3rd and 6 plus, where running the ball won't do the trick. That's another area where I think Dylan Raiola's big arm can come into play. If you can convert those 3rd and 6s, throwing through the snow and wind, even, getting to a point where 3rd and 14, you still feel like you have a chance because of the arm talent and the receiver talent. Like, it's not just about the deep ball, right? Yeah. It's, can you use that big arm to cut through the wind, through the elements, and keep drives moving, right? Maybe you punch the ball in the end zone by running the ball, but there come moments where you have to convert on those 3rd and intermediates that we just don't have any confidence in Nebraska, for the last few years to do that on a consistent basis, where a stronger arm doesn't necessarily just mean deep ball, chuck it deep, go get it. It can also mean, hey, here's that intermediate part of the field we have to target. We need a key conversion. We're going to put the ball in our quarterback's hands instead of trying to get lucky and hope that we can, bust off an efficient run.
The strong arm works for fitting in tight windows.
It does.
Whether it be short, intermediate, long, the long ball, the strong arm helps to get it further out for the receivers to run under it. The intermediate and short routes, it's for fitting it in those tight windows, right above, getting that touch right above the linebacker, squeezing it in between a safety and a corner or a linebacker. That's where the strong arm will come in handy. That's where Dylan Raiola's accuracy and arm strength will come in handy. You'll probably see more of that throughout the season than the deep ball, although you will see the deep ball, and those are what I'm so excited for. I love passing offense is so much more fun to me. I don't know. Whatever. We didn't talk any Nebraska basketball. It's fine. When we come back, I don't know if Strick's going to join on the stream or not, but we have the Chris crossover, a little bit of an NBA corner with Austin and myself. You're listening to Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 million bracket challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. And Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, has the largest selection of late model equipment in the Midwest. And for a limited time, Acres is offering low rate financing on all 2021 and 2022 S and X Series combines and 8 Series tractors. Qualified buyers can earn 3.9% financing for 60 months. And as an added bonus for your holiday season, if you purchase one of Acres' eligible machines before December 31st, you'll get a $5,000 gift card from Shields. Go to acres.com to learn more.
Make the 2024 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 19th through Sunday, January 21st. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the Dylan Blind giveaway, compete in the Big Bucket Monster Shed contest, and try the 3D shoot and more. Buy your tickets at the door at the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 19th through 21st at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln, 84th and Havelock, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Facing criminal charges is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we believe in treating every person with respect, compassion, and understanding. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. To learn more, call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Letting your children know you believe in them will go a long way toward making their dreams a reality. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. It's important to celebrate learning, focus on the positives, reinforce good effort and determination. Children need your encouragement and support. Our public schools want every student to succeed.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No, that is not an alcoholic beverage. That one. There you go. There you go. Shout out to Cherry Pepsi. Welcome back. Happy Hour. This is the Chris Crossover, joined by Austin and the one, the only, the infamous. I'll wait for him to finish drinking his drink. Stricky! Eric Strickland! Ooh, ooh! What is up, my good friend? Call in the Super Friends.
Yeah, man.
How you doing,
Stricky? Now, I was trying to get out of drowning of my sorrows until I just saw this weather just hit. Me and Cluster were out making some rounds, and then the next thing you know, we get back, and boy, oh boy, it's popping out here. I don't know what it's like down there, but it's definitely popping out here.
Oh, there's
more popping.
There's a wee bit of snow. I don't know why I said it like
That's
that.
your Ireland voice?
There's a wee bit of snow, laddie. That Irish? That's Irish.
Yeah, I'm drowning in my sorrows, man, from last night. It was very disappointing for my
not
little
great.
brace
We
of heart.
surprisingly didn't get to it on our show.
I was too busy ranting about efficiency versus time of possession in football, so that's my fault, Stricky.
Yeah, we
No,
talked
man,
about that.
it's cool. We're gonna
New
get into
commit.
it, I'm sure.
We talked about a new commit for Nebraska football. We talked about the co-offensive coordinator tag being slapped on with the quarterback's coach. And then we talked about offensive defensive efficiency in football. So I'm sure you guys will get to that. But right now, I want to hit a little NBA corner because Strickland, the Knicks, Jalen Brunson is back. The Knicks are back. They're going to take over the East, and we're all going to be happy.
Is that how it's going down? How do you
That's
feel
exactly
about
how
it?
it's going to go down. You saw Jalen Brunson. He came back, dropped a 30-burger, and the Knicks are back. Him and Julius Randle, 30 burgers.
They won 7 out of their 10, their last 10. So I mean, they're definitely playing good basketball. This is a stretch that you really want to run off and kind of bank in a lot of games right before the All-Star break and give yourself a little reprieve. So you kind of, they're in a good spot right now. They're kind of right there in a good position.
24-17, baby.
You know, I don't know. I think if I'm them, I'd want to get to, if you can, either get to the 4 or potentially the 3 seed, because I honestly think they match up better with Boston than they do with Milwaukee.
100%. I completely agree with you. 100%. Apparently there are rumors, trade rumors. They're looking at keeping their eye on Bruce Brown, who was just traded to the Toronto Raptors in the Pascal Siakam trade. And apparently the Nets are going to be sellers at the deadline. And you know the Knicks and their Villanova friends. So there's a certain Villanova guard.
You would have to take a couple of the bridges over.
Yeah.
A borough or two.
Just a couple bridges. Okay,
I'm going to throw this out to you, Rico. Strick, we brought this up in our crossover with Jay yesterday. Brian Windhorst saying LeBron's playing in 25, but he doesn't know where. What if I told you LeBron was a Julius Randle replacement for the Knicks?
I would not hate it. I would not hate it.
You'd be rolling with that?
Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
I think that's okay. I think that's,
It would be
I talked about a few places and I tried to, I was going in. Me and Jay were going at it. It was funny.
I heard that you are a LeBron James hater.
I am not a hater. I am not
I
a
don't
hater
know.
by any means.
It seemed like
WTF, baby.
Look, I'm just saying that listening to you and Jay go at it, it seemed like LeBron might have broken your ankles, dunked on you, and hit a 3 in your face. Like you were upset. You were not having. You were just all out on LeBron.
No, because it's just it is what it is. I mean, if you're talking about longevity, and yes, he's skilled and he's a great player, but I mean, listen, there's a segment out. If you're a Bron fan.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go through any NBA guys to include the ones who have come through his era. That is your Melos, that is your Durants, that is those who came in with him.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to what they say, who the GOAT in the GOAT debate, right? But there's even one that's even greater than that just came out recently. And it is a guy that he actually played with, started with, and won championships with. One of his teammates, and he literally says out of his mouth, his name is Mario Chalmers. Go on there and look it up, find it. Listen to Mario Chalmers talk about LeBron, and he says this. He says, and I'm paraphrasing. He says, "There's nobody out there that was scared of LeBron. You can ask anybody that played in the era of Michael Jordan, and you will find that they were sick, worried, scared, frightened. There was fear when it came to facing that man the next day. And you've got tapes of it from some of the greatest to do it, saying the same thing. When you have people saying that, but I bet you can find a similar amount of commentary basically saying there's no one scared of LeBron. Great player, love him, think he's one of the best to do it, but there's no one scared of him.
Of course,
and that's one of his teammates that said that.
Well, of course,
I
Mario
only believe
would say
it
that.
if Norris Cole says it.
Did you ever see Mario Chalmers getting bullied on the sideline? Of course, he's going to say that. They were mean to Mario.
Okay, yeah, good.
Wade, Bosch, Bron, they were yelling. They blamed Mario for everything. It was terrible. Of course, he would.
But you don't hear them. You don't hear him say that about Dwayne Wade.
That's because Dwayne Wade
Wade's not in the GOAT conversation.
Yeah, it's not in the GOAT. Wade and Bosch aren't in the GOAT conversation. It's just Bron.
But let's be. To me, only one of those years was LeBron alpha.
The second
the rest were Wade. Wade was alpha of that team.
Well, yeah, I mean, LeBron joined Dwayne Wade's team and franchise,
right?
I mean, Wade had his roots down.
So I mean, that's even more. That's even more because guess what?
What?
You would most likely want somebody to come over, and I said the same
Nobody
thing.
was going to Cleveland.
Listen, I say the same thing, and I'll continue to say this. You don't have to come to Cleveland. Wade eventually came to Cleveland, didn't he?
Yeah, not even a full season.
Well, but I'm saying it ain't that you can't get guy. If you're that guy, they want to play with you. There was a time when even Steve Nash, MVP guy, there were people that wanted to play with him because there was a reason why they wanted to play with him. They knew that if they run, they were going to get the ball. There's guys that wanted to play with Jason Kidd, and they would come. You know what I mean? There are guys.
They weren't in Cleveland.
Here we go. I'm done with the debate.
If you had somebody that wanted you to play, that you wanted to play with, but they were in Cleveland, would you try to convince them to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, too, he doesn't win another one. He doesn't win another one if it isn't for Kyrie Irving, as well as
and Kevin Love,
big time. Yeah.
Well, heck, Tristan Thompson, bullied the Warriors on the glass that series.
Michael Jordan didn't win any titles before Scottie Pippen.
True.
Okay.
I'm just saying nobody does it by themselves. Everybody has somebody.
Dirk did.
Well, except for Dirk.
Dirk did.
Yeah,
but
that's the only one.
Giannis did. I mean, there's guys that have done it by themselves.
And Mid was really good.
That was a good Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday.
And they're not
Brooke
Pippen-level
Lopez.
superstars, but they contributed.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about soup. That's what I'm talking about. Having somebody who has super all-star, potential.
Pedigree production.
Yes,
Yeah,
Brett. Yes,
okay.
Brett. I see you. Yes, Jet Terry. But Jet Terry, I'm talking about guys that are like
that was the best Jason
another
Terry's
level.
ever played.
Another level.
Strick
And
Jason
he outplayed
Terry.
LeBron. He outplayed LeBron in that series.
He did.
Jason
He did.
Terry did.
He did.
Yeah.
Jay Foreman, RJ Foreman is saying Nash is not a champion and Kidd is not a champion. Strick, your thoughts?
Oh, that's a lie. Kid does got a championship. Stop the cap. See, do your research. He got the championship with Dirk. Kid won a championship.
Was he there?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Kid
I'm pretty
was on
sure.
that team.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't on that
look it
Dallas
up.
team.
Look it up.
Yes, Jason Kidd is on that team.
Was he?
Kid was the point guard on that
roster.
team.
Alexis Ajinka, JJ Barea, Corey Brewer, Karan Butler, Tyson Chandler, Brendan Haywood, Dominique Jones, Jason Kidd, Jan Mahimi, Steve Marion, Steve Novak, Dirk Nowitzki, Sasha Pavlovich, Deshaun Stevenson, Peja Stojakovic, and the Jets.
I do not remember Jason Kidd on that team.
See, y'all
Trying to find
know everything.
Kidd that year played in 80 games, started 80 games, averaged 8 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal and a half per game.
Yeah.
That is news to me.
There you go.
I like to
Look at
consider
Stricky come dropping the
to
knowledge.
consider myself a pretty knowledgeable person when it comes to NBA, and I do not remember Jason Kidd on that team at all.
Mm-hmm. It was a hodgepodge of, look, guys contributed. Stevenson was huge at time. There was one game, Peja Stojakovic went nuts. The Matrix guarded. They threw the Matrix and Stevenson. They threw about 3 guys at LeBron.
Tyson Chandler on the boards is just a
and it was Lob City with him and Jason Kidd.
Oh yeah.
Are you all ready for Derek Lively to be better than Tyson Chandler ever was?
I think he has the potential to be, because Derek can also stretch you. Tyson could never stretch you.
What is your problem?
There's no problem. Derek Lively's just a stud.
Why are you the way you are?
Well, he's biased. We know he's biased when he says it, but I'm saying he has the potential to be, because he has stretch capabilities that Chandler never did. He can do all the other stuff that Chandler did, but I think Chandler's more rah-rah. Lively's, he plays hard and he can get raw, but he's not rah-rah like Chandler.
That's just because Tom Thibodeau doesn't allow Mitchell Robinson to stretch out behind the three-point line. That's the only reason. If you let Mitchell Robinson go beyond the three-point line and you give him the ball, let him go to work, man, that's the best center in NBA history right there.
Oh, gosh. Radio Rico. Find him on X, because he'll throw out anything and hope that it sticks to the wall.
The Knicks are going to the championship, baby. If the Knicks
it's
make
thirsty
the championship, I will be insufferable.
All I know is it's Thirsty Thursday, and I have a bottle of wine over here. I'm still doing it.
All right, you guys you got 40 seconds. What's coming up?
It's going to be a great show. We will go over Nebraska men's basketball and Rutgers, both the game itself, but also big picture. I am going to get on my soapbox, so be prepared for that. A lot of shenanigans going on in college basketball over the last couple days that I think we need to get to. Cowboys keeping Mike McCarthy and an NBA trade deadline primer.
Fantastic. Make sure you listen to On the Block. Coming up next here on 93.7 The Ticket. I am Rico. That was Austin. On the stream is Strick. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Adios.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Next weekend, the Lincoln Stars welcome the Sioux Falls Stampede to the Icebox for the first time this season. Don't miss Princess Night on Saturday, January 20th at 6:05 p.m. Get 4 tickets and 2 tiaras and a Princess Night pack for $75 now at LincolnStars.com. Secure your seats for the Stars versus the Stampede next weekend.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new